For 50 years, my nan has lived here. A beautiful 3-bed cottage in the woods. A few months ago, she decided to move out into a pensioner bungalow because it is very difficult alone in the woods here, very remote location, to look after yourself. So she has moved out and she is very kindly allowed me to move in. And in the last video, I did a grand tour of the house as well as the gardens. So if you have not done so already, I highly recommend you go and watch that video before I reveal to you what I'm actually doing. Because oh boy, have we been busy. My good friend Tom Upton, also known as the Viking landscaper, has come down to teach me how to operate a digger, because I am digging a trench all the way from the house to the top where the garage is, because it's about 35 meters away, as I need electric, internet, water and oil now. Because despite seeing the pipe here, apparently the Viking has quite a habit of breaking people's water pipes when using a digger. Not that that's his fault. I decided to follow the oil line all the way up in the hopes that we could keep it and not do too much damage to it, but it was inevitable. The oil pipe got broken, so it's going to cost me about £200 to replace it. As I say in the biz, it is what it is. But if you have not done so already, then make sure you scan this QR code that you can see on the screen now, and it'll take you over to the Vikings channel where you can watch him teach me how to use the digger as well as the trenching itself. I highly recommend you go over there, watch him. We spent a couple of days together. Someone was very kind to go and buy us some sandwich at Sabin's, my friend's business. I believe she's called Marion, so if you're watching this, Marion, thank you very much. It was a very kind gesture. And yeah, if you've not done so already, then go have a sandwich at Sabin's. It's like the best sandwich in the UK. But yeah, go check out the Landscaping Vikings channel and give it a watch, and you'll see all of the behind the scenes of this. But for the purposes of following along with everything I do at this house, let's roll a bit of a time lapse and get you caught up to where we are.
Hello. So I'll just quickly show you what he's achieving. Like I say, I'm only here to really show him how to use the machine and stuff, but I'll get it going for him. So he wants to run his power, his Ethernet and his water down through this, but there is an oil line underneath. I've already said to him the likelihood, because he's going the same route of where they've already put this oil line, I did suggest like going it through like loft spaces and stuff to get where he needs to go, but it hasn't actually got loft spaces. From outside it looks like it has, but it hasn't. It's like vaulted ceilings. So the idea is to just follow where they've already cut in the past. We're going to do a wider trench so he can try and fit them all in, but I think he's going to have to put a new oil line in as well, because we're digging right where it is. I know it's there, but it's inevitable really. We've turned the oil off at the other end, so I'm just going to start digging through. I've checked, there's a manhole right here. I've checked the depth on it, lifted the grid, had a look. It's plenty deep enough. So yeah, I'm just gonna start digging along here.
I had a dream we were popping in hotels, one hand around the bottle, gripping it like I'm Odell. Was up inside a session with some legends, show and tell, and everything was good till it wasn't. Oh well, when opening my eyes, I woke up on my bedroom floor, staring at the ceiling with the clock 4:30, and caught a feeling I've been reeling from this once before, and had to get my out the door, man. So dear mama, I promise I've been at it on a right path. Apologies for times I never write back. It's all good out in Cali, separate from Valley. Soul searching, couch surfing, drifting at the Maui. Damn right, I like the life I live. Still trying to figure out who I forgive, though. I'll have an answer ready for you in a couple of years, when I finally graduate and learn to conquer my fears. Cheers. So what you running from, baby? Yeah, your life has just begun.
Thank you again, Tom, for sending me the footage so I could share it on my channel, as I would like to kind of keep the progress of everything we do here in one place. But again, if you've not done so already, make sure you go subscribe to him, leave a like rating, and let him know that I sent you over. However, you may have seen he only got to about here just through the gate. Well, I've spent a good portion of my day learning how to use the digger and getting comfortable with it. And as you have now seen, Tom went from there all the way to around here, and I kind of continued the trench a little further. It gets a little narrow here because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. This is where I basically started. And yeah, I'm getting very, very close to the oil tank. If you hadn't already guessed, this is my first time ever using a digger. So it's taken me some time to get used to it. And as Tom taught me on his channel, I kind of felt it was a little redundant for me to refilm me using it today, because I'd already done it on Tom's channel. So yeah, again, go over to his channel, watch it. I got a little bit deep here because the ground kind of went up and I got a bit too happy with the digger. But I have now cleared out a pathway that is going to take my trench all the way up to my garage. So now that I have got comfortable using the digger, I am going to continue digging it through here, and it's going to come all the way up here to there to reconnect the oil back up. But at this point here, I'm going to shoot off in this direction to get to the lean-to, because as I mentioned, I want water, electric and my internet all taking from the lean-to down to the house, or from the house up to the lean-to. Well, it'll be to the garage, but I can't really get into the lean-to because it's all concrete padded. I'm going to have to kind of figure out what I'm going to do there. But as far as the trench goes, it's going to go as far as that wall there and wrap all the way down. I'm actually joined by a little dragonfly. How cute is that? Speaking of insects and bugs, the amount of things I have uncovered from ripping all of this out is unbelievable. I am literally getting eaten alive, which it's not very fun. But I think without further ado, I'm going to stick you guys on a tripod and we're going to get cracking on. And hopefully by the end of today, I'll have the trench completely dug out, with the exception of the final bit near the house, because I need to use a breaker and stuff like that. And I think there's going to be a bit of manual labor involved. I can't quite get the digger down there to do that bit. So yeah, I'm going to have to use a good old shovel and get some backache, I guess. All right, it's time to fire up the beast and crack on.
Said now this the type to beat to make you feel so alive, the kind to make you drop the top and hit the coast for a drive. Have you just taken the moment, put that ego aside, until the day that I die? I'm steady repping 9-5 till infinity. The illest flow came back with the remedy. I ride around these streets looking for peace and serenity. Well, clean the routine, slow it down with some greenery. Said things been looking different since dropping a change of scenery. Like I'm 20 some floors up, dreaming about my life inside the back of a tour bus. We out there hitting city after city, keep the keys in ignition. Venues of people rocking with me from the words that I've written. Fuck your permission, how else could I achieve this position? Somehow they've always got opinions, but I never do listen. So fuck what you heard, and you can call me what you want, but I'm a man of my word, don't you forget it now. Keep it rolling. Fresh on the scene with $1 and a dream, shaking hands with people only faking how they seem now. We ain't slowing. Nuh-uh, I've been around and dealing went up and down. No longer stuck in neutral, girl, we cruising now.
Oh my lordy, I have finally finished digging this trench. I have spent today about 9 hours on the digger. I am starving. My phone has been going off like crazy, but I was just like, I just need to get this done. It got really difficult up here by the oil tank because it was found like a reservoir of just bricks. Essentially just turned into a big quarry where I just kept on pulling out bricks, and it was really difficult. One thing I'm not so good at is, straight lines, nice and easy. You just kind of go backwards, dig. But trying to do bends like this is it's really quite hard. That being said, as someone who has never driven a digger before, and this is my first day, don't get me wrong, obviously I learned in Tom's vlog, but I spent about 15 minutes max in the digger. Today is my first day on the digger. To say that I've achieved all of this I'm quite happy with myself. We now have a spot to come up for the oil. It goes all the way down to the house. We tee off here, which will take us all the way into the lean-to. I'm gonna have to do the rest of that probably manually with a shovel or something, because I just can't get closer with a digger. And then we follow the trench all the way down. There's some loose bricks that I need to pick up and tidy up my trench. But we keep going and wind our way down. We eventually reach the house. So this is my trench. And at this point, I would like to say, trust the process. Because, oh my God, I was doing this and I was like, man, I'm ruining it. It's like ruining my garden. I'm like, I've got to trust the process. It was heavily overgrown. It was loads of weeds. I haven't actually taken up any plants doing this, which I'm so happy about. So all I did was lose 200 pounds because of the oil line. But once I cover this all over and reseed it and stuff, I'm actually thinking, I don't know, someone let me know if this would be a good idea. I kind of feel like making a path through the garden on top of the trench might be a good idea. Like, not like a proper gritted path or anything like that, but I'm talking like pebbles, what are they called, like stepping stones, like a stepping stone path that goes all the way through the garden and in down there. Obviously I'll have a lawn in my back garden, but just above the trench, because then I will forever know that below those little stones, those stepping stones, is where all of my utilities run. Not that I'll ever forget anyway, but you never know. I feel like it's a good idea. Could be completely wrong with that decision. Let me know in the comments down below. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm just like, I need to get stuff, power, utilities and stuff up here. And I figured long term, like security wise, run it under the ground. So that's what I've done. I need to eat. I need to check my phone because, as I say, people have been trying to get hold of me, and put my head down because I am absolutely beat. One thing about this mini digger I would love to try a bigger one, but where the handles are, where the steering is, apparently you can get steering that's like by the seat, but because that's there, I find myself always like crouched over, like hunched back to use these, and for that reason my neck and my back, I'm aching really, really badly. But yeah, so I'm gonna have a beer, relax, and just marvel at the mess that I have created here. Don't worry, I will clean it up. But let's fast forward to when I've had this all checked over and we know we're in a good spot and I've recovered a little bit. 24 hours later, I am no longer alone, and I have had one heck of a day making sure that everything associated with my trench is a-okay. So a little bit has changed, but I couldn't film it. One, because my phone was quite literally on, I don't know, 4%, I think, because of the sheer amount of phone calls I had to be on this morning. But I've had it all checked. We're a-okay. I've got the oil now connected. So the trench is now filled in, oil is connected in here. And now the front of my house no longer, or the back of my house, I guess I should say, it no longer looks like an absolute bomb site. I've gone all the way around the back of the caravan. This is all compressed down. I have stopped here. As you can see right there, there is a chamber. So what has happened is, silly me, got a tape measure out when I finished my trench, and I measured my trench and how long it was. Now, I had a rough measurement, which I did when my nan lived here, and in my head, I remember it being 35 meters. Unfortunately, I was way off the mark, and to go from there all the way down the trench to the house, yeah, it's 50 meters. Now, for those people who don't do this kind of stuff or buy cable or pipes and stuff, they tend to come in like 5, 10, 15, maybe 15, 25, 50, 75, 100, and that's the length that they come in meters, obviously. So a 50 meter length of armored cable, which I have, and pipe like for water and my internet and so on, is the exact length of my trench, which is not enough because I need some excess to come out of the ground. which poses a bit of a problem. Fortunately, my oil pipe runs down, which is also 50 meters, but it does in fact get me to the house with a load of excess, because the straight run all the way up to the oil tank isn't 50 meters. I think off the top of my head, it's been a bit of a manic day. It's 6 meters from where I put that chamber to the lean-to in the garage, so I'm definitely going to need a join. So what I've got to do is, fortunately, I don't have to worry too much about sand. The oil pipe didn't have any sand buried on it, or under it or on it, and the ground itself is quite soft. So I'm actually really happy about that, because it saves a lot of backache. However, I do have 3 tons of sand, so I am going to use it as just a good identifier of where things are. But what I need to do is carry on digging my trench this end manually, which is going to take me a bit of graft. And then I can get all the way to the house. I'm going to need a breaker to set up the connection. But I'm going to run everything, my 50 meter lengths of water, Ethernet and electric, to my chamber, which is a service chamber, because if you do any kind of connection or join underground, it needs to be accessible. So that's what the chamber's for. All of my utilities will run up here into the chamber, then I'll have a connection in the chamber which takes the internet as well as my electrical cable from the chamber off into the garage. My water pipe is going to come straight out of the ground around here-ish. I'm going to stick it on a post and attach a tap to it with a double check valve, and what essentially that means is nothing like bacteria and stuff and like all that kind of fun, glorious stuff with an outside tap. It means it doesn't go back into the pipe and travel into the water system at my house, and it keeps my water clean. So the tap up here will be fresh water, drinking water, but it'll be on an outdoor tap. But for the time being, as I only have 50 meter lengths of anything, I am going to connect at the house and terminate in this chamber, because my digger I've only got for a few more days. And I don't have the funds to buy another cable to run me into the lean-to or the Ethernet. Well, the Ethernet's not so bad, but the armored cable I'm running up here is to protect me for the future, in terms of if I ever get like electrical vehicle charging up here, or for the gate, power tools and like my workshop, as well as an office up here. It's quite a chunky cable to carry that like voltage drop over distance and blah blah blah, lots of technical boring stuff that you don't need to know about. But because it's such a big cable and it's carrying so much power, it's very expensive, so I can't just buy it and lay it whilst I've got the digger, unfortunately, which is very, very annoying. I've had honestly a massive palaver today with the oil pipe, but now that it's in and everything's a-okay and I'm good to just crack on with what I was doing, is positive news. So we are making great progress. On a completely different note and slight update for you guys, I have been pestered quite a lot to start daily vlogging, because as much as I have said a lot recently how I don't have anything very interesting to be daily vlogging, to be honest, that has kind of changed a lot with this project that I have taken on. Whether that's house renovation, landscaping, doing everything that I'm doing, everyone is telling me that I should be filming every tiny bit of things that I do and sharing it, and just kind of allowing people to follow along with it on a daily basis. So as I'm obviously off work, and daily vlogging is significantly easier for me than the way I typically record my vlogs, I am going to attempt to film everything day by day, and we'll see how it goes. I'm off for a couple of weeks anyway, so I can mainly focus on purely this and my channel and posting. So if you are someone who likes me and the content I post, then make sure every day I'll be posting at 6 o'clock, same time as usual, but it'll be every single day. And at the end of it, we'll see how many people have kept up with the series and kept up with watching me do everything. And you never know, it might open up avenues to continue sharing what I get on a daily basis, because obviously I don't work 24 hours a day. I do have evenings free where I can continue making progress on the house and making videos, because a lot of the time my videos are around 20 minutes long anyway, so I can do that. So I'm going to trial it, just because it will shut people up who keep pestering me to do it. And maybe you guys will enjoy the content. I have a strong feeling that it is going to be oversaturation, and I am going to just, it'll be too much for people to keep up with, but you don't know until you try. And I'm going to heed the advice of my friends and family and give it a go. So I hope you're looking forward to a lot of content. Hopefully it can be as entertaining as the stuff that you've been watching up till now. I know I've changed things and keeping you like with fresh and different angles and camera and like high editing and stuff like that. And this is kind of a bit odd for me. I haven't daily vlogged ever, I don't think. And yeah, a little bit nervous. Don't know how it's going to go with my internet, but we'll see, and we'll trial it. What's likely going to have happened, just so I keep completely transparent, I keep you in the loop. As I film this right now, I think it is Wednesday, and this won't go up till Sunday. So from Sunday's vlog, starting Monday, it will be every day. So you'll be about you'll be a few days behind, which allows me to get ahead on uploads because I am using mobile broadband to upload and editing and all that other kind of jazz. So bear with me, we'll give it a crack and see how we get on. Fingers crossed the rest of this is a really smooth process, because crikey do we need water up here ASAP. But anyways, on that note, I'm going to wrap up today's vlog and leave it here, so I can kind of start planning and figuring out what I've got to do next. And I shall catch you guys tomorrow for the next vlog. How mad is that going to be? I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So let me know in the comments what you think. As always, your feedback is greatly appreciated. I don't pretend to be a master of any of these things that I'm doing. I am not a tradesman. I'm just a guy with some confidence who's willing to give things a go. And hopefully by doing that, you guys can watch and think, yeah, I can do this as well. And that's my whole ethos is, if I can do it, you can do it. And that is what I'm hoping to achieve with this channel. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Again, all the people who buy Orion Whittle merch, massive shout out to you guys, absolute legends. I'm still yet to see someone in the wild wearing it, and I can't wait till the day that happens. I feel like I need to keep like a prize in my car or something to give the first person wearing my merch. You never know, could be something really cool. But yeah, again, a shout out to the guys over on Patreon going that extra mile to support me. But as always, it's been Orion. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Peace, much love, bye-bye. The fun times that me and Tom got up to whilst he was down for a couple of days. So now that, as I am laying internet, because as I mentioned, I want internet. Nobody tells you how much it hurts your neck, constantly leant forward. I feel like there's a better way to position my chair, but we're nearly there.